Hi everyone, my name is Monique.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And today we're going to be playing a wizard dueling game called Wizards of the Grimoire.
Yes, this game is designed by Cole and Joe Banning and published by Grimoire Games, who are helping sponsor this playthrough. And in this game, players are going to be taking on the roles of prestige students under an archmage who has just died. And as is custom, once the archmage dies, we are going to duel to the death to see who's going to take his place.
That's right. We are basically dueling to see who's going to be the next protector of the Grimoire. And so this is a two-player only card game where players start with a health of 60 and the object of the game is to get your opponent's health down to 0. And so as per usual, we are going to start with a quick teach of the game and then go straight into a two-player playthrough. So if you'd like to jump around, we'll include timestamps in the description below.
Now, if this game is of interest to you, the publisher was kind enough to provide a free shipping code, which you can check out all the details in the description down below. Lastly, if you like these kind of videos and you want to see more in the future, please consider subscribing.
And with that, we are ready to begin. So if you'd please direct your attention to the center of the table, we're all set up here for a two-player game of Wizards of the Grimoire. Welcome to the dueling floor.
This is it.
Are you ready for this, Naveen?
Yes.
This is a duel to the death.
To the death.
Now, like we were mentioning, each player starts with a health of 60. And so there's actually an app that you can download for your phone that keeps track of the health throughout the game. So we're going to be using the app today. And so just to kind of give you the lay of the land, in the middle of the table here, we have 10 spell cards. And so over the course of the game, we're always going to have 10 spell cards to choose from because we're going to be selecting spells in order to cast them and deal damage to our opponents. Now, in addition to spell cards, we also have a deck of mana cards. And mana cards are going to range from a strength of 1 to 4. And we're basically going to be using these mana cards in order to cast the different spells. Now, before the game starts, each player will draft 2 spells each. So I'm just going to use these as an example. And spells that are drafted go into your repertoire, which can hold a maximum of 6 spells at any given time. Now, the way that a turn works is each turn is made up of 5 steps. Each turn, players are going to gain 3 mana cards from the deck. So anytime you gain mana, it's the number of cards. And then you can cast any number of spells in your repertoire that you're able to. Now, in this game, there are 3 main types of spells, and you'll see the type at the top left-hand corner of the card. The red cards are attack spells, which basically allow you to just attack your opponent. The green spells allow you to typically gain more mana. And then the purple spells are sort of like the rule breakers of the game. We'll kind of just read them as they come, and they'll change the way the game operates. In addition, spells activate in different ways as well. And so the downward arrow means those spells activate upon casting them. Once you cast the spell, the effect happens immediately. We also have spells that have a horizontal arrow, and these have a delayed effect that only happen whenever you discard a mana card off the spell, which you'll see in a second. And lastly, we have spells that have ongoing effects. And so these spells are always in effect as long as you have mana cards on top of them. Now, in the top left-hand corner of the card, you'll also see a number. And so that is the number of mana cards that you have to play from your hand on top of the card in order to cast it. And so if it were my turn and I wanted to cast my second strike card, which allows me to deal 3 damage, I would have to place 3 mana cards from my hand face down on top of that spell, just like this. And so since this is an attack that happens immediately, I would deal 3 damage immediately to my opponent.
Me.
In addition, it says the next time you cast an attack spell this turn, it costs 1 mana less. So there's a bit of engine building here sometimes. And then once I'm done casting all the spells that I'd like to cast, then I can end my turn by optionally discarding a mana card from my hand and dealing the strength of the mana card in damage to my opponent. That is one of the few times that the strength of the card actually matters. There are going to be certain spells that also are affected by the strength of the mana cards that you place on top of them, and that will kind of show during the playthrough. And again, this step is optional. So once you're done with this step, then your turn would end and it would go to your opponent's turn. And so as a reminder, there are 5 steps to a player's turn, and we skipped the first 2. So going back to the beginning of a turn, once it comes back to me, you always start your turn by gaining a new spell, if you have space. So right now I only have 2 spells, and I can hold a maximum of 6, so I would draw one from the display. Now, if my repertoire were completely filled with 6 spells, during this step, I can optionally discard a spell that has no mana on it in order to make room for one that I want to draw. And so if all 6 of my spells have mana on them, then I cannot take a new spell.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. Afterwards, before drawing my 3 mana cards, all of my spells will have a cooldown phase. And during this phase, you basically remove the topmost mana card from the spell and you discard it into the mana discard pile. During this phase, all spells that have the delayed activation effect activate whenever you discard off a mana card. And so that can happen during the cooldown step of your turn, or if another spell has you discard a card off of it, that's when these effects come into play. The other significance of this cooldown phase is, like I was mentioning earlier, you can only cast spells that don't have any mana on them. And so this is kind of a way for you to get your spells to become available again.
Yeah, it's just a refractory period where you have to kind of wait.
Yes. And that's essentially it. At this point, you would continue your turn like we previously described, gaining 3 mana and casting your spells, and basically going back and forth, taking turns like this until somebody's health has gone down to 0. And at that point, whoever is still alive will be the keeper of the Grimoire.
The big book.
Hopefully that'll be me today, but we'll see. So we're just going to go ahead and get cleaned up, and then we'll get started with our playthrough.
Sure. All right, we have shuffled both decks. We are ready to go. We do have to figure out who is going to be going first.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Go.
Hard rock.
You. You had that in mind.
It was always going to be rock.
All right. Well, Naveen is going to be player 1. So we do have the health app in the right order here. Since Naveen is player 1, you get to choose the first spell. So I'm actually going to be taking the first turn of the game, but Naveen gets to select the spell first.
I get my first pick?
Yes.
All of these are good, and I could make a wrong choice here, but I think I want to go with Living Wind. Living Wind, it's going to cost 2 mana cards to put it into play, but it'll work immediately. And it says gain 6 mana cards, and then gain 1 fewer mana for each of your other spells that have a mana on them. So I'd want to probably deploy this early so I can get a bunch of mana so I can start deploying more cards after that.
Very good.
So I'll just go ahead and put this one right over here. So now you get another choice.
Yeah, we always refill the display.
10. Look at this one. This one costs 4 mana cards.
Immediately.
It's quite a bit.
And you know what? I think I'm going to be controlling the health. So I'm just going to put it here.
Just get it out of the way.
Just to get it out of the viewing window. All right.
Okay.
So I get to choose my first spell.
You do. You get to choose.
Wow. This is a new card that came in, Fury. It says you deal 1 damage for each of your opponent's spells that have mana on them. This is kind of a nice late game attack because it's quite expensive. It costs 4 mana, but look at the art on these cards. Anyway, I think I'm going to take Doomdrop.
That was the other one. I was hoping to get it back around.
This is a delayed attack kind of spell, and it's very aggressive because it says each time a mana card is discarded off this spell, deal damage equal to that mana's power. So it is in my best interest to put higher strength mana cards on top. But there you go. This is going to be my first spell. So here is the new one, Sleight of Hand. This is gain 1 mana card, gain additional mana equal to that mana's power. So again, the green spells are for gaining more mana.
Right.
So now it goes back to you.
All right, knowing that you have Doomdrop over here, I
Yes.
think I want Drain Soul to maybe potentially help. This one basically says your opponent must give you the highest power mana in their hand. And then I would deal damage equal to that mana's power. So
No.
Monique was trying to line up like a 4 on top of this. Then I could try to kind of prevent that.
But that would have to be on your turn.
On my turn, yeah.
so there's some safety there.
a little bit.
All right, refilled by Arcane Eye. Pick up a mana card off each of your spells that costs 3 or more.
Okay.
So activating this would not allow me to activate this because this would require you to pick up a mana card, whereas in order to activate this, you have to discard a mana card off of it.
Yeah.
So those
verbiage.
sort of the verbiage is very important in this game. All right, that actually concludes our setup phase, and now we're going to get into the game, starting with my first turn, which is going to allow me to start my turn by taking my second spell, if that makes sense. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, may the best wizard win.
Going down.
So I'm first going to select another spell from the display, and I'm thinking that I need a mana gaining spell. And so I'm looking at these 3 because they're all the green effects, and they're all actually pretty good. But I think I'm going to choose Arcane Tactics because this spell kind of wants me to have certain strengths of mana cards.
Yep.
Where usually it doesn't really matter, but this spell does. And so Arcane Tactics says gain 7 mana cards from the mana deck. Then place 4 mana cards from your hand on top of the mana deck in any order. So I was
So you
debating
can
between...
pick and choose the best ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Whereas Freeze gets you 4 mana cards for the same price. So because this one I only net 3,
Right.
but with this one I get to sort of customize the strengths
You can
of my
set
mana
up your
cards.
Doom Drop, eh?
Yes,
All right.
and that's going to be replaced by Possessed.
Possessed.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks.
Okay. So
All
now
right.
that that's done, I'm actually going to move this back
Okay.
to the center here.
Why not?
So I've chosen my new spell. Afterwards, I would have my spell cooldown phase, but because there is no mana on top of these spells, then I would skip to the next phase, which is gaining 3 mana. So you always gain 3 cards on your turn. Now, I just want to note that mana cards in your hand are private information in terms of their strength, but your opponent should always be able to know how many mana cards you have.
Right.
And there's also a hand limit of sorts. If you ever start your turn with more than 10 mana cards in your hand, then you discard down to 10. All right, so now I can cast my spells. I'm going to start by casting my Arcane Tactics. This requires 2 mana. So I'm just going to place these 2 on top. And so sometimes the order of the mana cards matters. And so just so you know, you cannot move them once you place them.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
So those are the 2. This is going to allow me to gain 7 mana cards from the mana deck. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's a lot.
And then I'm going to place 4 mana cards from my hand on top of the deck in any order. The thing that's nice about this is not only do I get to look for the higher value ones, I also get to give
Giving me the
Naveen
crap.
the lower value cards.
I'm aware.
So I'm going to place these 4 on top of the deck. There you go. And then I have 4 mana cards left in my hand. I can do this, Doom Drop. This spell costs 3 mana, so I'm going to place these 3 cards on top of it. And now it's been activated. Now it is a delayed activation spell.
Okay.
So it's not going to actually come into effect until a card gets discarded off the top. That's it. I now end my turn by optionally playing this card from my hand to deal damage. Do I want to do it? I am going to, because Naveen has this spell here that requires me to give him a card from my hand and it'll deal me the damage. So I might as well be empty-handed. This
it's a
is
1.
a mana, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Strength of 1. Why?
I would have probably kept it in my hand just to keep it as a bait, to force me to use this very special power on just 1 damage.
Oh no!
But you've exposed it.
I have.
Yeah.
Well, I have dealt first blood.
Yeah.
There, you're at
'Cause then
59.
Now, knowing you have no mana, I don't have to worry about activating this card right now in this turn. I can do something else.
I wish you didn't tell me that now. Well, that is the
There
end
you
of my
go.
turn.
That's it. Yeah.
So it goes to you.
All right. So I'm going to pick a new spell.
Yes.
All right. I think I'm going to take Mutation. Mutation basically says it's an attack. Gain 1 mana card, deal damage equal to that mana's power. So you mess with that deck over there. I'm sure it's like a 1, most likely, but that's okay. So I'm going to take this one and put it out here.
That's
and
funny.
we're going to fill this in. Ooh, what do we got here?
Windstorm.
All right, so then I'm going to draw 3 mana, the 3 that you probably know.
Uh-huh.
2, 3. Thank you very much. Ah, yes.
You're welcome.
I knew it. So let's go ahead and activate Mutation. So I'm going to put 2 cards on top of it. And then this is basically going to say gain 1 mana card, deal damage equal to that mana's power. So we're going to expose it to everybody.
The 4th card.
4. It's a 1. I get to keep it though.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, so you take 1 damage.
Yeah. It doesn't say to discard it, huh?
It doesn't, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to activate Living Wind with these 2 cards over here. So I'm going to place this on top. This one says gain 6 mana cards, gain 1 fewer for each other spell that I have at least a card on it. So
5?
I'm only going to get 5.
2, 3, 4, 5. That's nice.
Yeah.
Wow. You're going to have 5
5 mana.
mana in hand?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then I can go into my basic attack.
Because you're not gonna activate Drain Soul.
No, because you have no mana cards in hand. So
True.
I am going to do this one. We're just going to spend a 2Z on you.
Okay.
So I attack you for 2. Minus
right.
2 to you. 1, 2. There we go. I'm winning.
So 59 to 57 is where we're at.
That's it.
And that's the end of your turn?
That's it.
All right. So now it goes back to me, and I'm going to choose a new spell. So seeing as I have 2 spells here that are going to need to cool down before I can cast one again, I think I'd like a spell that I can activate more frequently.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to go with Windstorm. This is a new one that came out. And it says it only requires 1 mana to activate it.
Sure.
And it says you can deal 2 damage, then reveal a mana card from the mana deck. If it's a 1 power mana, place it on this spell.
So it'll slow it down.
It'll slow it down,
Okay.
exactly. So I'll take that.
Sure.
That's my 3rd card in my repertoire.
You are going to draw 3. Ooh, renewal.
Renewal.
Okay.
That is a mana gaining thing. So before I draw my mana, these are going to go into a cooldown.
Yep. This is our first time seeing it.
It's their first time seeing it. So you just discard the top card, the top mana card off of each. And then this one is going to activate because this is when it happens.
Yeah, you set this up. I bet this is a big one.
It's not. Each time a mana card is discarded off this spell, deal damage equal to that mana's power.
3. That's
3.
good.
I think that is, yeah, maybe it is big.
That is big.
I forgot which ones I had placed on top, which you shouldn't do. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So then I'll gain my 3 mana. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And then now I can cast just this one because these 2 still have mana on them. So I have to wait. All right. So I'm going to place the 1 mana on top,
Okay.
which casts this spell, deal 2 damage. So that happens now. 1, 2. And then I have to reveal
1.
the top
You're
card.
looking for a 1. 1.
Oh no.
So it'll slow it down. So in that refractory period, as you're pulling cards off, now you have to
cool
go
down.
through 2.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if there were only 1 card on it, I would be able to activate it again next
Basically
turn.
every round. Yeah.
But now my whole spiel that I just said, it didn't actually come into fruition.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I am going to end my turn by playing a card from my hand. So I'm dealing 1 damage to you, Naveen.
All right. I mean, yeah, you're chipping away.
Chipping away.
There you go.
Now it is back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to move this over, and I'll probably just leave this here.
Yeah, sure, that works.
Yeah. All right. Feel free to choose.
Okay, how many cards do you have in your hand, Monique?
I have 1. 1 mana card.
All right, I like the art, and I like what this says. Contamination.
Oh, wow.
Place 2 mana cards from your hand on the mana deck. If you do, deal 4 damage.
Okay.
Seems pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one right over there.
Damage.
Yeah.
All right. We're refilling with haste. Okay. So what does that do? Place 2 mana cards from your hand on the mana deck. You're
Yes.
returning mana.
Meaning you will have these.
Yeah, that's right.
Not very nice looking mana. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these off.
Okay.
Okay, those go away. And then
All right.
now we are going to go ahead and cast some spells. Let's go ahead and do a contamination. Might as well. So I'm going to spend 2 cards to
Okay.
activate this spell. I'm going to place 2 mana cards from my hand on top of the mana deck. And we're going to deal 4 damage to you, Monique. There's a 4 damage button right there.
Yeah, right there. Boom.
There you go.
53. We're tied.
Now, I don't have any cards in my hand, so I cannot do that basic attack. So
Okay.
it's going to pass on to you.
That's the end of your turn. All right, now it goes back to me. My previous plan didn't work because now I don't have another spell. Well, actually, this is going to go away. I'll be able to get more mana cards.
Yep.
I'm going to take this spell, Possessed. So this is very aggressive.
Big dog.
Yeah, it costs 3 mana and it lets me deal 5 damage. Your opponent may give you a mana from their hand, and if they do, reduce your damage by that mana's power. I don't think you have any mana in your hand, right?
don't.
We've discovered.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I'm
going to get hit for 5 right now.
Place this here.
Dang it.
And then we were going to replace this with Soul Pact. So
Okay.
that goes there. Okay, so now I'm going to have the cooldown. So there's this. This is now available. And then this is going to
What are you going to do?
deal
to me?
damage equal to 2. So
Okay, what are you doing
1,
to me?
2. So you're at 51.
Plus, you're going to give me 5 right now?
All right, so I gain 3 mana.
Yep.
So now I have 4 in my hand. This is going to cost 3. So I can only cast these 2. I'll cast my Arcane Tactics. So that's
Okay.
2 mana. And again, that lets me draw 7 mana cards.
I hate that card.
It's great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there we go.
Nice draw.
And then I will place 4 mana cards from my hand. So here are the 4. Now, if you don't like a certain spell that's in front of an opponent, there are cards that will allow you to place mana on top of their spells.
Yep.
So that basically just delays the time that you're able to cast the spell again. Okay, so now let's deal this card, Possessed. So I have to put 3 cards. Here's my 3 mana
Okay.
for this card. And it says deal 5 damage. Your opponent may give you a mana from their hand, and if they do,
Don't.
reduce your damage by that mana's power.
So -5, huh?
-4, -1. So you're at 46
You got a
to my
basic attack to
53.
me?
I'm going to play my optional last spell. Boom.
Ah,
-4.
you're hurting me, Monique.
42.
I gotta get better.
That's the end of my turn. So now's your chance
Yikes.
to do that.
To do something.
Do something.
Do something.
Do something bad.
All right, let's go ahead and pick up Fury. This one is going to cost 4 cards, though. But it says deal 1 damage for each of your opponent's spells that have mana on them. You happen to have a lot of mana going on. So let's go ahead and do that.
My power was your power, basically.
Well, I mean, you did deal a lot of damage to me.
Time distortion.
Cool.
Oh, hey. This is pick up a mana card off 2 of your other spells.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, man. That is.
Nice. All right, let me go ahead and grab 3 cards.
Well, you do the cooldown first.
Cooldown. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So now these are back in.
So many.
So many back.
And then you get
3.
these. Here's.
What did you
3.
leave me with, Monique?
Well, I mean, a lot of your spells, it doesn't really matter what the strength of the cards are, so.
So I'm going to go ahead and activate Living Wind, which is gain 6 mana cards, gain 1 fewer mana for each of your other spells. So it's only 5 cards.
5, okay.
But I'll take 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go.
Okay. Let's go ahead and activate now Mutation. It's gain 1 mana card and deal damage equal to that power. So I'm going to put these 2 on top.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and reveal. That's the damage you're going to take.
Show it, right?
You take 2 damage.
All right, this goes into your hand. And I will take 2 damage.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Let's just go hard right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put these 4 on top of Fury.
Okay.
So we have 4. Deal 1 damage for each of your opponent's spells that have mana on them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take 4 damage.
So -4. Okay.
All right. And then we got basic attack here to wrap it up. You're going to take 3 damage.
Wow. 2, 3.
Not so shabby.
That's not too bad. Wow, that was a good turn for you.
Yeah.
So 42 to 44 is where we're at, but you have no mana cards in your hand.
No cards.
Right?
No cards.
Okay. I have the 1. So, all right, back to me. I have 4 spells in my repertoire, which means I can still acquire more.
Yep.
And so seeing as after the cooldown, I'm going to be able to cast these 2 spells again, I think I need a lot of mana. So I'm going to take Renewal because this is one that I can technically activate every turn. And it says gain mana until you have 4 mana cards in your hand. So if I only have like 1 mana card left over, I can place it there and gain additional mana.
Back to the 4.
So I'm going to kind of move these closer.
Bad Fortune came out.
I think we're running out of space.
A little tight.
Right?
Yep.
Technically, when you play this game, you should be sitting across from each other.
Yeah.
So that's something that we didn't mention earlier.
We'll make this work.
You can make it work this way as well. So now we go into the cooldown. So let me discard these cards off. This one we have to reveal for 2. So 2 damage.
That's not good.
1, 2. I need to get discarded.
It was auto ready.
It was ready. I programmed it.
Yeah, you programmed it just to hurt me.
So here are my 3 mana. And now we can cast. So first I'm going to cast my Doom Drop.
Yeah.
And again, this is only going to come into effect when cards are discarded off of it. So nothing happens. Then with the 1 card that I have left in my hand, I will cast Renewal. So gain mana until you have 4 mana cards in hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to cast my Windstorm. Okay. So hopefully the next card is not a 1.
Was that 2 damage?
But this is 2 damage. 1, 2.
And then if that's a 1, it goes on top. 1.
No.
Yes.
I thought surely there were so many 1s that came out.
The deck is skewed more towards having more 1s. It tiers.
Right.
There's less 4s, and then so on and so forth.
All right.
Very
that is
good.
that. So now I'm going to go into my basic attack, which is going to be a 4.
There you go. You're good.
I drew a lot of cards, so the chances of that happening were high. Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Gosh.
So we're at 34 to 44. Naveen.
I need to get a 10-point turn.
Back to you.
Ooh, okay, I do have space for 1 more. All right, I think I'm going to take Trance State, seeing as I find myself with very little mana in my hands. This one says deal 3 damage minus 1 damage for each mana card in your hand. So as long as this is my last card I play and I have no mana, then I can deal 3 damage to you.
Yeah,
and it's renewed every single turn, so that seems like something I'd want.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Sneaky deal.
All right.
Oh, okay. We haven't really been taking the purple spells, but just so you know, this one says you choose 1, deal 1 damage, or discard a mana card off one of your other spells. That's really good.
Yeah, that gets it going faster.
That's good for me.
Let's go ahead and cool down. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And none of your spells are a delayed effect, right?
No.
Okay. So there's that. Here are your 3. 1, 2, 3.
Give something good.
And go ahead and cast away.
All right, let's go ahead and activate Drain Soul, because you have how many cards in your hand?
2.
2. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 cards out.
Okay.
On top of this. This is the one that says your opponent must give me your highest level mana card, and then you're going to take that much in damage.
There you go.
So we're going to expose it to everybody. So you get 2 damage.
2 damage.
Oh, that's
1,
it,
2.
huh? All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and place this card on top of Trance State over here.
Okay.
And it says deal 3 damage minus 1 damage for each mana card in my hand. So I'm going to deal another 2 damage to you.
Minus 2. 1, 2.
And then let's go ahead and do my basic attack. I'm going to give 3 damage to you.
Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
All right. 34 to 37.
All right. Off it goes.
Wow. Well, I have 1 fewer card in my hand than I was expecting. And I can take 1 last card. Oh my gosh. Which one am I going to have available? Renewal and Arcane Tactics. I think Sneaky Deal was too good. Because I have this delayed effect card, this is great.
So you're going to take it?
Yeah, I'm going to take it because it renews every round anyway. So I'm just going to do a real tight squeeze so that I can get my 6th card in. All right, I think I just about have the last card on screen. It's really just the bottom terminology that's important. And then as long as you can kind of keep track of when the different spells come into effect, then that's what matters. Okay. So I have my 6th spell. Let's go into cooldown.
Oh, yeah.
So let me discard.
This is the one that's going to hurt me.
Hold on. And then Naveen will take 3 damage. 1,
Yeesh.
2, 3. So
I can't hold it.
there's that. And then I am going to take 3 mana. 1, 2, 3. And I think I can only cast these 3, right? So 1, 1, and 2. I'm going to start by casting my Sneaky Deal. So this is a newcomer to the repertoire. And I'm going to choose 1. I'm going to discard a mana card off one of my other spells. So because I'm discarding it off of Doom Drop, this will come into play again.
Oof.
So this is minus 2. 1,
That's a
2.
bad combo for me.
And then my other cards really just get me mana. And seeing as this kind of takes a while before I can get it again, I'm only going to activate Renewal.
Okay.
So I play 1 card on top, and then it says gain mana until I have 4 mana cards in my hand. I have 2 right now.
So you gain 2?
So I'm just going to gain 2.
Okay.
1, 2. That'll end that. And so I'm just going to go into a basic attack and play my 4 card.
Oh,
So minus 4.
I need to draw some 4s.
I'm drawing pretty lucky.
You are drawing
I will
very
say,
well.
this game.
Yeah.
It's a very different game from
I have not
last
seen
time.
a 4.
Well, it is back to you.
I've seen
to
them
be-
attacked on me, but that was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, in this game, you kind of have to vary the types of spells that you have, and also there's the luck of the mana draw.
Well, I have my max 6 here. I think it was a mistake to get Contamination now that I think about it, because it requires me to put 2 on here plus discard 2. That's 4 total mana to do 4 damage.
Yeah.
You're doing it in just in very clever ways. So I think I'm going to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's the thing that's nice is you can discard up to 1 card as long as there's no mana on top of it.
Yep.
So
I'm going to go ahead and just kick that out and just get rid of it.
Okay.
We're not going to play with that one anymore. We'll take a new one in. All right, let's go ahead and take Time Distortion. This one says pick up a mana card off 2 of your other spells.
Ooh, that's nice.
That seems like something I'd want to do to get this moving.
Yeah.
I'll just slip that in right over there.
Speeding up your
Speeding that up.
area.
Ooh,
Bloodlust.
Bloodlust.
Whoa. Deal 1 damage. Deal an additional 2 damage for each attack spell you cast consecutively before this one.
So it's like boom, boom, boom. So you better have 3 at the very end of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Requires a lot of mana.
And then I'm going to go ahead and get
Cool
my...
down first.
Oh, yeah. Do you mind helping me out? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All these. Okay.
Very good.
Thanks.
And then
Now I get
now
the
you
3.
gain the 3.
Thanks.
Here are your 3 mana.
Thanks.
And go ahead and cast
Okay.
away.
Okay, so we're in a pretty critical part of the game. It's all about getting your repertoire kind of in sync and having things kind of chain off and engine build here. I didn't do as good of a job, but I think I have something that I could work with here. So,
Okay.
All right, I am going to go ahead and use that new Time Distortion card that I have. I'm going to put 2 out on top of it, and it says pick up mana cards off of 2 of your other spells. So I'm going to pick up 1 off of this, and then 1 off of this one, which now opens up Drain Soul.
Oh no.
Yes, Drain Soul. Monique,
Yes.
I'm going to now use it. I'm going to do this one actually. Living Wind first. So I'm going to put 2 cards on top, gain 6 mana cards, gain 1 fewer for each of my others. So I'm going to gain 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go. 4.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I think I want to use Mutation. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put these 2 cards on top.
Okay.
Gain a mana card, deal damage equal to that mana's power. Be a 4. Be a 4. That's a 1. That's okay. -1.
Yeah, -1. Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and now do Drain Soul. So I'm going to spend these 2 cards. We're going to put it on top. Your opponent must give you the highest powered mana in their hand, and I'm going to deal damage equal to it. What do you got here?
My 3.
Good.
1, 2, 3.
And it becomes mine.
That means it's yours
It is
to do
mine.
a basic attack with. So
All right, seeing as I have 3 cards here, if I put 1 on this, it would only do 1 damage to you. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to spend this 3 as my basic attack.
okay.
And I'm going to do 3 damage to you.
1, 2, 3. There you go.
Okay.
25 to 30.
Okay.
Not too far of a spread.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it goes back to me, and Naveen is right. We are at a critical point.
Are you going to kick out Arcane Tactics?
I don't know. Arcane Tactics is real good.
It's been doing really good for you.
It has been, but this is the decision point now because I don't have any more space to gain more cards. I think I'm just going to go with it.
Okay. This
So,
is your engine.
I'm skipping step 1. This is my repertoire for now. We're not going to be learning any more spells. We're going to go straight into cooldown. So
You activate everything pretty much, right?
sneaky- Well, the only thing that is actually activates is this Doom Drop minus
nice.
1.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't have a
good.
high valued, high
That's good.
strength mana card in that moment.
Perfect.
We are going to need to shuffle this soon.
okay.
But let me go ahead and draw my 3.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. And there's only 1 card left. Let's go ahead and shuffle this now.
Yep.
So that we have more.
Sure. All right, here you go. Fresh deck.
Okay, now I know there was 1 card left over, and this is probably the best time to assume that it's not a 1. So I'm going to activate my Windstorm.
So
there's
deal
my
2
1
damage
mana.
to me.
2 damage to you. 1, 2.
Draw 1.
And then please, you just reveal it, right? Yeah,
Yep.
reveal. It's a 4. It's a 4.
That's bad for me.
So I'm going to activate my Arcane Tactics, or I'm going to cast it. So with the 2 mana here, I gain 7 from the deck, and then I discard 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oof.
I'm going to place 4 cards from my hand on top in any order. So here are the 4. And then I'm going to activate my Doom Drop. So here are the 3
Oh, shoot.
delayed effects, powering up my spells. And then I'm going to activate my Sneaky Deal.
Okay.
Because I want to activate this basically as much as possible. So I'm going to play my 1 mana on top, and I'm going to choose to discard a mana card off one of my other spells. So I'm going to get this party started
Oh.
with a 4.
Come on, Monique.
So minus 4. And I think I'll just end my turn now that I only have 1 mana card left with a basic attack of the 4.
No.
I don't want Naveen to take it from me. So we are very close.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
14 to 30.
The writing is on the wall.
All right.
All right, I think it's not looking good for me, so I'm going to get rid of that Trance State card
Okay.
and just bring in Bad Fortune. This is the one that says just straight up deal 4 damage, and then we reveal 3 cards from the mana deck. If there's ones, you're going to put it on here to kind of slow this thing down.
Okay.
But I just need to take away as many points as possible from you.
Okay,
There you go.
Betrayal.
Ooh, Betrayal looks
Oh,
good.
this is deal 5 damage, but your opponent gains 3 mana cards. All right.
All right, let's go ahead and cool these down. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A lot of them.
Very good. And then let me get you your 3 mana. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Give me some good
Because
ones.
those are the ones I placed
Bad ones.
on top of the deck.
Let's go ahead and activate Bad Fortune. I'm going to spend 2 of these really crummy cards Monique put back on top of the deck.
Okay.
Put on top of Bad Fortune, deal 4 damage to you, and then we're going to reveal 3 cards. If any of them are 1s, it's going to stack on this.
Okay. I did minus 4. There it is.
Well, we reveal 3 of them, so we can go...
Oh, you reveal 3?
Oh, yeah. If they're 3 1s, then
Oh,
this
that's
is
why
not
it's so
happening.
strong.
There you go. So
Here,
one
so
of
this
another
goes on
one,
top.
yeah.
So whenever you reveal, you just put it back from wherever you revealed from.
Right.
Okay.
I only have 3 cards left. This one requires 4, so let's do a basic attack. Here's 3 to you.
1, 2, 3.
There we go. All
right.
All right.
We are getting down to
What
it.
are you going to do to me?
Well, on my turn, I could replace one of these. Do I care about renewal right now? I'm going to discard Possessed, actually, and I'm going to replace it with Betrayal. Because Betrayal is basically the same thing, except instead of my opponent being able to reduce the damage, you just gain 3 mana cards.
I would gain 3 mana cards?
Yeah. Trap Attack. All right. So there's that. Let's have our cooldown. So I get Sneaky Deal back, which is nice. This one, and then you
gosh.
take 2 damage.
2 damage,
So
okay.
not so
Okay,
bad.
okay.
1, 2. 12. Oh my gosh. We're down to 12.
I want
1,
another round. I
2.
want to go one more. I would like to.
I don't know if I could deal 12 damage
I
right
hope
now.
not. Yeah.
Well, I only have 3 mana cards in my hand, so I'll start by placing one on Sneaky Deal. So I'm going to choose to discard a mana card off one of my other spells, which will be this one,
Okay.
so that I can do this again.
Do it.
I'm going to play 1 card on top of Windstorm, so deal 2 damage, 1, 2. Then reveal a mana card from the
1,
deck.
yeah.
If it's 1, whoa! Then place it on this spell. It is not a 1.
It's not good.
I have 1 more card in my hand, so I will use it to tap Renewal, which lets me gain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I will play 1 on top of Arcane Tactics.
2 on top of Arcane
Oh,
Tactics.
it's 2. Sorry.
Oh, Monique.
2 on top of Arcane
What
Tactics.
have you been doing?
No, I've been playing it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here are the 4. And I only have this available left. So I will activate it with these 3 mana cards. So it's deal 5 damage, but you get to draw 3 cards.
Oh, that's good.
-4, -1.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
here's your 1, 2, 3
Please tell me I get another turn.
for
I would
you.
like another turn.
You have 5
Just
health
I want to
left.
bring you
Oh
down to
my
like 10 or
gosh.
something. Yeah.
How could this be? I'm gonna do my basic attack and it's gonna get you down to 1. How could this be?
All right, I need 23 attack here. Let's go. At
thought I
least I
would
get
be
my
able
extra turn.
You do.
I would like an extra turn.
You
here.
do.
This
You get
makes-
your extra turn.
Okay. Oh boy. Well, Fury is just too good right now because it's gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get rid of this.
Okay.
We're just gonna go with what I have here.
All right. Straight into cooldown.
Let's cool down. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 cooled off. So now everything is back.
Very good.
All right.
There's that.
Wow. Well, might as well do this now. I'm going to put 2 on top of Living Wind, gain 6 mana cards, -1 for every other spell. So I get 5
So
cards.
5. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Give
There
me
you
some
go.
good stuff. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 cards down on top of Mutation. It
Mm-hmm.
says gain one mana card and then deal damage. Let's be a 4. Let's be a 4. It's a
1.
1.
There you go.
That is okay. All right.
Okay.
Let us drain soul. So I'm going to put these 2 cards down. Your opponent must give you the highest power mana in their hand.
Oh.
Deal damage equal to that power.
Oh my gosh. Here. This is my only
3.
card. It's
Perfect.
a 3.
I'll take it.
1, 2, 3.
More.
There you go.
There we go.
You've drained my
I'm
soul.
draining you.
What does that feel like?
Not good. All right, let's go ahead and put these 4 on top of Fury. So we're going to place this here. Deal 1 damage for each of your opponent's spells that have mana on them.
6. -4.
4 minus 1.
2.
There you go. And then this is it for me. The basic attack, it's a 3. I said get you down to 10. I
You
got you
did.
down to 10.
But good job.
I did it. That is
That
a
was
mini
a-
win for me.
That was a really big turn.
Yeah,
tell you the
that
truth,
was a lot of
so.
work.
Anyway, here we are. Are you ready to go
That's
into the
it.
final turn?
Yes.
I'm not going to gain anything. I'm going to go straight into cooldown, and I'm actually just going to do Doom Drop
Right away.
-2.
-2.
Boom. That is it.
Oh,
That is the end of
I
the
had another 3 in my hand. I would have liked to use it.
Yeah.
You did good.
You got stronger and stronger, you know. So
I
it's
did.
You closing the gap.
I had first dibs on all of these cards, and Doom Drop was out there. This is the card I should have taken.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, right, you alternate taking a new spell from the display. So it's like you basically have the same selection.
This 1-2 combo, I should have been able to break this up. The fact that you get to pick whichever cards you want
Mm-hmm.
and then just drop it onto Doom Drop and let that just auto damage me.
Yeah.
I should have not allowed that to happen in that initial draft. So
Yeah, that
very
was the
good.
drama.
That
The
was
drama that went on in this gameplay.
Yeah.
Last gameplay was very different.
Very different, yeah.
And the game is fast enough where you can basically reset and do it again if you want to do like a best out of 3, switching player spots. So now the other player gets to go first.
Right.
So, and by the way, if you are first starting playing this game, there's a beginner variant where you can just play with the beginner cards to make it a lot less complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there is the rest of the deck of spell cards that we did not get to show off today.
Right.
We didn't really take any of the purple spells, and
No,
these
not
can
this time
really
around, yeah.
break the rules. Like this one, for example, Battle Vision, when your opponent basic attacks, you can discard a mana card of the same power from your hand to block the damage. So even though we haven't really seen any cards that let you gain health, this kind of slow that down. And another example is haste, which says the next time you cast a spell this turn, you may choose to reduce the spell cost by up to 2.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tools that are basically embedded in these cards that help you build a repertoire that kind of bounces off each other.
Yep.
So anyway, that is the Wizards of Grimoire. I am going to be the new
Archmage.
Archmage, who is going
Yes.
to be the protector of the Grimoire. So it's a big duty.
I think I go into oblivion, right? I'm done.
Yeah, I think so.
That's it. I think it's to the death, is what they say.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching our playthrough today. If you have any questions about anything that you saw here, please feel free to leave us a comment down below, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Now, if you are interested in this game, there is that code to the free shipping that the publisher has provided, so feel free to look at that at your own convenience. And thank you all so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more like this in the future, please consider subscribing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.